guys and gals, never here from Drinking Game, and it's 70 now, sort of the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Promises to Keep. Sorry it's taking so long to get to this one again, y'all. I've been pretty sick lately, so let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Cuties in the snow, cuties in the snow. Okay. I feel helpless too, taking it all in. A speck in the endless wide ocean whose tide could so easily sweep me away. I'd be powerless to fight back. And a steady paw on my shoulder pulls me out of my thoughts. Hey, you alright? He's nearly shouting over the sound of the wind. I turn to face him, blinking and shaking the snow off my face. The gusts wane slightly, and I manage to get a few words out. Yeah, I'm just adjusting. I mean, I was born and raised here, but I don't ever remember seeing snow like this. Theodore nods. As far as I can remember, this is the worst it's ever been. I believe it. The cold starts to pierce through my layers, and I can feel a creeping wetness spreading underneath my socks. Theodore seems to be surveying the area as well, but I get the feeling he isn't just taking in the scenery. It'll be days, I think, before they can get the plows through here, and it's obviously still piling up, so I can hear the worry creeping into his voice as he looks up and down the street. I look past him to my car, parked in the driveway, or at least what I think is my car. Only a vague shape is visible beneath the snow. But that's for the future us to worry about. He imbues his voice with some forced cheer and starts wading through what I assume is the sidewalk. For now, let's just get to someplace warm. I'm freezing my tail off out here. He leads the way, and I follow closely behind him. We walk slowly with a wide, loping gait, footpaws testing for shallow spots, doing our best not to topple over. After only a few steps, I start following Theodore's trail exactly, tired of wading through the thigh-high drifts. We walk quietly, both of us devoting most of our attention to staying upright. I wasn't really in a conversational mood anyway. For some reason, it felt wrong to talk too much out here. Winter was speaking. Could choose not to listen, but we shouldn't interrupt. After a moment or so, Theodore turns back to me and points towards a nearby house. This one's mine. I blink in surprise. It's huge. For some reason, I hadn't expected him to own the biggest house on the block. We walk up to the partially shoveled porch steps, and he fishes a keyring from his coat pocket. I'll need to give this another shovel tomorrow. People will be coming and going. He turns the key and opens the door. We both hustle in and hurriedly shut it behind us, eager to escape the chill. Ooh, that is a wonderfully lovely-looking house. Oh my god. The warmth in the living room is heavenly, courtesy of a robust heating system and a merrily crackling fireplace. I can feel my muscles finally begin to relax in response to the welcoming heat. I don't think I realized just how cold I had been until this moment. We're back! Theodore calls out as we enter the house, but I don't hear a response. They must be busy. Oh well, you can meet them later. He sheds his coat and holds out his paw to take mine. As I struggle to remove my snow-filled boots, I can't help but ask, how many others are here? A smile returns to Theodore's face. He seems to have no shortage of those. Counting you, I'm expecting 5 guests in total. He brushes the clinging clumps of snow off of our 2 coats and hangs them neatly on a nearby rack. Second now, tea time. Some of them are still gathering their things. Not too many, then. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I don't know if I could have handled something like a group of 10. Please, sit down. He gestures to a couch in front of the fire, and I readily fall into one of the seats. I resist the tempting urge to immediately curl up into the warm cushions. Theodore looks over me again, and continues. Anything to drink? How about some warm tea? I prepared the leaves myself. I suddenly notice how wet my pants legs are and guiltily shift them off of the couch. I think I'm good. To be honest, I kind of feel bad intruding in the first place, so... Theodore raises an eyebrow. Now I'm gonna stop you right there. As long as you are staying here, what's mine is yours. I promise you, there's no reason at all for you to feel bad or guilty. It's not as if the power outages are your fault. And speaking of, I felt how cold it was in your house. You must still be freezing. Please, let me bring you a warm mug of tea. Alright, you got me. Some hot tea sounds wonderful right now. Excellent. I'll be back in just a second. He turns and begins to walk through to the kitchen. Theodore? He stops in the doorway and turns. Thank you. For all of this. It's my pleasure, and please, call me Theo. As Theo walks off to the kitchen, I remember the dead phone weighing on down my pocket and begin to scan the room for an outlet. The living room is pretty well kept, much neater and more welcoming than my place when I still lived there. Do I still live there? I wonder where I'll be after the storm settles down. I find a suitable spot near the couch and start charging my phone. I wonder if I'll have any messages, or if it will just be updates on my canceled flight, and just automated text sent to my computer. Then I hear paw steps as Theo returns to the living room, 2 steaming mugs in his paw. Here, it's my favorite brew. White tea with chicory root, hibiscus, coriander, and some other flavors. I think you'll like it. He holds a mug towards me as he sits, and I reach out to grab it with both paws, hungry for its warmth. Thank you. I lower my head to give the tea a whiff. It smells like tea. I guess I don't really know anything about tea. As I lean in for a sip, Theo slips his phone out of his pocket. It tastes floral? Well, with a hint of citrus. It's pretty good, actually. I start to give him a compliment, but Theo speaks first. Do you know the raptor at number 42? I've been trying to get him to join us here, but he hasn't responded to my texts. Didn't answer the door when I knocked either. Not really. I mean, I don't have his number or anything. I trail off lamely, hiding my snout in my mug. A few seconds of silence pass as Theo continues typing. I'm texting a friend of his, Artemis. He's the bird number 60. The two of them are pretty close. He'll be staying with us. I nod, trying to sip my tea as quietly as possible. It felt pretty bad to admit that I didn't know my neighbors at all, especially when Theo was going out of his way to be so kind to me. You know, I think I'll just head over there again. This cold isn't too good for scaly folk, and I want to make sure he's alright. Sounds good. Do you want me to tag along? Theo takes one look at me, tail wrapped around my soaking wet pant leg, clutching my mug to my chest. No, you still need to warm up. Just stay put. I'll be back soon. I nod, immensely grateful. I was in no rush to charge back into the storm. Second, y'all. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Okay. Theo gets up and walks to the door, slipping on his coat again. Stay safe. And I like the tea. I hold up my mug and give him a smile. Feel free to pour yourself another cup. I'll be back before you know it. The door swings shut, and I'm left alone with my tea and my thoughts. After a few more sips, I feel the comfortable heat start to seep into my core, slowly spreading throughout my body. I pull my still frozen foot paws up onto the couch and peel off my wet socks, tucking them into a side pocket of my bag. As the minutes pass, I start subconsciously prepping for company, my eyes fixed on the front door, waiting for it to open. I can do this. I can be normal. They'll come in through the front door any moment now. Then I hear a door shut somewhere else in the house. I nearly jump off the couch, startled, before remembering the other house guests. I just hadn't expected them to be here already. I take a deep breath, my puffed-up tail swishing back and forth. Ugh, why am I so jumpy? I hear the gentle tap of paws coming down the flight of stairs, the sound getting louder. I sit up and prepare to meet whoever is coming, tucking my tail behind me to hide my nerves. Theo, I just got a text from Artemis saying... Then the mystery guest comes into view. Oh, cutie. Oh my god, so cute. They're all so cute. Ugh, I'm gonna adopt all of them. Do gay things to them. He stops mid-sentence, making eye contact with me, and gasps loudly, an audible mix of shock and wonder. Leo? My heart beats even faster. Those ear and fur patterns were unmistakable. It can't be. It had to be. Ruffy? My heart drops. I feel time slow down around me. The dog freezes, eyes wide. He's clearly surprised, but I can't fully read his expression. Does he have some sort of grudge against me? Honestly, I'd understand if he did, given our history. We used to be best of friends. Little memories float across my mind. Vibrant colors of the tree in the town square. Ruffy, the tree, and I all changing with the seasons. The smell of the playground grass during recess, freshly mown. The long nights we would spend talking, and the quickening beat of my heart when we would play fight. Especially when those fights turned into a sleepy cuddles. The last chocolate bar we shared before I left. Dark chocolate. Bitter, with hardly any sweet. It's been over a decade since I last saw Ruffy. Since my parents decided to uproot our lives and move across the country. I broke the news to Ruffy a few days before the movers made their final trip to our place, grabbing the last of our things. I just couldn't find a way to tell him without breaking his heart, or mine. Leaving felt wrong. It felt horrible. At the time, it felt like I would never recover, and neither would he. After that terrible conversation, we spent our last few days trying to pretend nothing was wrong. We just couldn't bring ourselves to talk about it anymore. Second now. And then, just like that, I left. He couldn't even see me off. We chatted back and forth a few times, long distance. Our talks grew less and less frequent until they stopped completely. He just wasn't a friend I could keep over the phone. Years passed and I forgot. Perhaps I made myself forget. It's always what I've done with painful memories. A single question settles it like a lump in my throat. A childish question. A question a kid asks when they know they've done something wrong. Are you mad at me? I opened my mouth to ask it, but... Oh God. Leo! It really is you! The bright orange dog breaks into a sprint across the room, arms outstretched. I barely have time to react before he tackles me in a soft, fluffy hug, and we both fall back onto the couch, his momentum carrying us a bit too far. I lay there for a second, dazed, then I feel him jump up from the couch. Sorry, it's just been so long. You really are Leo, right? I didn't just hug some stranger? He really hasn't changed at all. He takes a seat next to me, eyes wide but filled with energy. Still reeling from his football tackle, I find enough air in my lungs to respond. Yeah, it's me, Leo. Wow, it really has been a while. What, like 10, 12 years? He says this incredulously, counting on his pause. The guilt rises once again to the surface. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Hey, Leo, are you okay? I blink a few times, unball my stiff paws, and force myself to meet his eyes. Yeah, sorry, it's been a while, you know? I trail off, watching his face closely for a hint of sadness, a twinge of anger, anything really. But his expression doesn't really change. To an unknowing observer, it would seem we were only apart for a weekend. It has been. But it's nice to see you again, really. The genuine warmth in his voice comforts me a little. Maybe he really isn't that mad. I feel the same way, really. Amidst all the craziness, it's nice to see a familiar face. Knowing that we'd have to breach this topic at some point, I decide to take the lead. So, speaking of, what are you doing here? I wince a little, not the smoothest seg. But he takes my question and runs with it, like the master conversationalist I remember. You'd never believe it! His voice practically drips with sarcasm. But I stayed here for all of high school and then for college, at the suggestion of my parents. God, Ruffy's parents. Are they still the same? He rolls his eyes and nods. Yes they are. So you're still under their thumb? Ruffy puffs out his chest proudly. Actually, I moved out, so not as much, I guess? My eyes widen. His parents were the extremely overbearing type. They loved keeping him in the house and would always give him shit for just asking to hang out with me on the weekends. And they were okay with that? You moving out? Well, sort of. The Hot Best Friend. That's a good thumbnail title. That didn't sound too convincing. There's no way they would just let him move out. Not if they were all the same people they were a decade ago. They, kind of made it happen themselves, really. I notice his tone drop slightly. Open my mouth and close again, burning with curiosity but not wanting to pry. I decide to drop it for now and let the room go quiet. Anyway, enough about that. It takes him only a moment or two to perk up. He's always had the ability to lighten a conversation, and I was always jealous of that. I'm still jealous of it. What are you doing back at this time of year? You missed me so much that you traveled through a snowstorm to see me? I resist the urge to flinch. Best to just tell him the truth now. We'll come out eventually, anyway. Actually, I've been back nearly a year. A year? Why haven't I seen you at all, then? I fold a little into myself and drop my gaze, though I can tell he's surprised, not upset. Thank God, I'm not sure I could handle an upset Ruffy right now. Or ever, really. Well, you know, we just kind of lost touch after a while, and I figured we were both busy with school and work and all that, so I wasn't sure how to get in touch with you anyway. My excuses were feeble at best, but Ruffy remained just as chipper as ever. But you thought about me at least. Phew, that's a relief. Glad I wasn't just a poor forgotten soul. Imagine, little old me being lost forever in the depths of your mind. He draws out his last words dramatically, then sticks his tongue out at me. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm gonna give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. If y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to not safe for work content as little as $5 already. I love you all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!